Dude, I want you to upload more. Hope you're okay. I don't know if you've gotten hate because your comments are turned off in your 2 newest videos, but I just revisited this channel to see your new vids, and there are none. Please, I hope you're okay. Plus, I have an idea. Rank all the Scooby Doo shows from worst to best, or top 10. But please, man, I hope you're doing good. And have a nice day. Well, dang, that was a really thoughtful comment. Classic Shaggy here, glad to be back. Thank you all for the really nice comments you've been leaving in the YouTube comments section. I've read them all. It really means a lot. I had no idea the channel would take off, that you guys would really like this kind of stuff. This whole channel started just as an idea to praise what I think as one of the best animated shows ever made. So, I've heard the calls, you want more videos. I hope to produce some more coming up. The video I have planned today is to do a reaction to another YouTube video about some of the worst Scooby Doo villains. Let's have some fun, shall we?
Oh great. As much as I love Scooby Doo, its creepy monsters and goofy shenanigans, they've had some stupid mysteries and stupider monsters.
So his main point so far is that not every episode is perfect, and no one is disputing that fact. There are clearly some episodes in the first 2 seasons that are really awesome, and there are some that are not. Now, we're focusing specifically on the villains here, and his list is based on the following metric. He's looking at the monster or ghost's appearance, their motivations, and their abilities. I don't necessarily think this is the greatest way to approach the worst villains, but let's see what he has.
The Snow Ghost from That Snow Ghost, or the Yeti Ghost, because that's what it is. Apparently a real Yeti chased this Tibetan man and fell to his death in his hilariously cartoonish death.
Cartoonish. It is a cartoon! What are you talking about?
I think that perfectly encapsulates why I love how freaking silly this monster is. He's got these priceless caterpillar eyebrows, and unlike most monsters, he is throwing everything at the game to scare them off, so he can smuggle diamonds and such, yet he constantly screws up. He comes off like the Wile E. Coyote of Scooby Monsters.
This analysis is so enlightening. Alright, his major complaint is that the Snow Ghost screws up in his plan. That he's the Wile E. Coyote of Scooby-Doo. Has this guy watched the show? This literally happens in every single episode. The villain's plan doesn't work. I wonder why. Well, maybe it's because the gang always shows up at the wrong time. That's why they're called the meddling kids. Because they always happen to be around in every kooky place on the planet whenever some villain is trying to heist some diamonds or steal some jewelry. It always happens. The comparison is meaningless. Let's hope this is better with number 9.
The Ghost of Elias Kingston from What the Hex is Going On? Here we got one of the many Creeper clone designs. Yeah, you might be surprised, or not, whichever, to learn that Hanna-Barbera reused the Creeper design for quite a few of their monsters in the early days, including Blue Creeper here, Elias Kingston.
Oh look guys, it's a reskin. That's such a modern complaint. Criticizing hand-drawn animation because it's easier to reuse similar designs. Also, by the way, every single villain, with the exception of the werewolf, is actually really good. So his complaint, again, doesn't seem to hold up.
Elias here, though, is a grade A weenie. That is the best way to describe this ghost. Elias tries to scare Mr. Inc. off all to get his family fortune. He'll chase them with guard dogs, flying tables, blowing air at them, and sometimes chasing them. He is supposed to be a bit more of a threat, as his power is that he can rapidly age people until they decay. But in execution, Elias acts and talks more like he's constantly bamboozled, and it's just funny to see a guy who clearly sucks at his job.
I'm really enjoying these attempts at humor, and this guy completely missed one of the funniest lines in all of Scooby-Doo, which just happens to be in this episode. Here, let me play it for you.
And we haven't seen Sharon or her uncle either.
Hey, was Uncle Stuart wearing a blue suit, red tie, and tennis shoes?
Yeah, when we last saw him.
Then I think we found him. Only he looks a little older now.
Wow! I guess that ghost wasn't kidding.
That's just about as old as you can get.
The ghost of Mr. Hyde from Nowhere to Hide. We all remember how the Creeper is one of the most classic monsters from Scooby-Doo, right? Well, what if you put a hat on him? Bam! You got yourself an all-new monster.
Another reskin. That's the complaint. Next!
Miner 49er from Mind Your Own Business. Now 49er is apparently a fan favorite of Scooby-Doo.
If you were going to make a list about the worst Scooby-Doo villains, I wouldn't put the Miner on that list. He's more weird than he is bad. He has a good plan, like most of the villains. He's trying to keep people away from the mine because there's oil in it. Alright? Oil is expensive. You can get lots of money for it. And the main critique here that the guy talks about is that his design isn't good. I just want to throw this out there. If you were walking around in a very dark mine shaft and this guy came out of the shadows and started chasing you, I don't think you're just going to sit there and say, "Aw, isn't he cute?" No, you're going to run, like what you just saw, what the clip he's playing. You're going to run away. This guy would freak you out. Again, his metric just keeps flying all over the place, and I don't. The Miner 49er isn't a stupid villain. He's just more of a weird villain.
The Caveman from Scooby's Night was a frozen fright.
Anybody else at this time wondering how he's ordering these villains? Because I am. What exactly makes this guy worse than the previous? That's sort of how these top 10s are supposed to work. But it seems as if this guy just took a bunch of villains that he doesn't like and threw them into one video. We'll see where this one goes.
He's a caveman. Got a club, does typical caveman things at a marine biology center.
He's a caveman that does caveman things at a marine biology center. Holy crap. I feel like I'm losing brain cells. These aren't complaints, okay? You may not like the caveman, but they set him up as a ghost. He's not supposed to be alive, all right? This isn't a live caveman. He's supposed to be a ghost caveman. Oh my word. Next!
The Wax Phantom from Don't Fool with a Phantom. A monster used for embezzling is tradition for Scooby-Doo, even apparently in their first ever series. But why did we end up this season on such a sad looking and sounding monster?
Here's some evidence to the contrary.
Me too. Hey, what was that?
Scooby-Doo, where are you?
Right here.
His creator, Mr. Grigsby, is far creepier in just a few minutes we have with him than the Wax Phantom is the whole runtime of the episode.
We're halfway through the list, and we've come to the first thing that I can actually somewhat agree with. Yes, the Wax Phantom's creator is genuinely creepier than the Wax Phantom himself, albeit that opening with the Wax Phantom is pretty great. But I've talked about this guy in one of my other videos. He's fantastic, but I'll push back. The reason he's so creepy is part of the traditional Scooby-Doo trope. It's to present you with a really creepy secondary character to make you think that's the main villain. But anyways, on to number 4.
The Ape Man from Never Ape and Ape Man. This is a gorilla. Just a gorilla. There's not anything that makes him an ape man.
Yes, the Ape Man. Okay, This is, if you were going to make a list of the worst villains, of course, this guy has to be included because he's correct. He is just an ape. You can watch my video on the weirdest Scooby-Doo episodes. I have a whole thing about this episode. So, we'll keep going. Yes, I will give him this one. This guy deserves to be in the top 5, at least. He's just terrible all around.
The Indian Witch Doctor from Decoy for a Dog Napper. This is a weird monster, let alone a weird episode. And mind you, this is Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Everything is weird. But this one stands out as just a bit bizarre.
Okay, first the ape man, now the witch doctor. Why am I getting the feeling that this guy has watched my video?
It opens up on a sunny day. We watch regular thugs kidnapping dogs.
Never mind. He said they're normal dog nappers when clearly he didn't see the frog person stealing the dog.
Here we are on Front Street before the woo scary scene. We see a normal dude in a ridiculously goofy looking mask, and then they show us the woo scary scene.
I think the funniest thing this guy has said so far is his owl impersonation.
Woo! The phony phantom from the haunted house hang-up. Do I really need to explain why this sucks?
This is why you don't send a boy to do a man's job. So far in this list, the guy's been criticizing main villains from Scooby-Doo episodes. But in a subtle switcheroo, he decides to start criticizing the fake ghost in a very classic Scooby-Doo episode, hoping that no one would notice. It's not consistent. Let's see. Who is the real ghost from this episode? Is it this guy?
Was that you, I hope?
Or is it this guy?
Get a head start!
He spotted us!
Or is it this guy? Obviously, the answers are no, no, and no. So who is the real ghost? This guy. And boy, is he creepy in this cutscene. On to number 1.
The Ghost Werewolf from Who's Afraid of the Big Bad Werewolf. We've had werewolves before in Scooby-Doo, but this design is a fusion dance between the werewolf look and the snot green design of the creeper. That crackerjack design that must have broken the mold for Scooby given how many times they used it. And the Ghost Werewolf master plan? Sheep rustling.
Probably not who I would have picked for the worst Scooby-Doo villain or ghost or whatever you want to call them, but a decent pick overall. The design, I mean, if we're going by this kind of stupid metric, the design is passable. But again, his main complaint about the motive is actually genuine in this case. So we've got like one genuine criticism in this entire video, and that's that in this particular episode, sheep rustling just, it just isn't as, it's not as attractive as something like stealing gold or oil or anything like that. So overall, okay. Well, there you have it. My first ever review of another very popular YouTube video about Scooby-Doo. Please let me know what you think in the comments. If you'd like to see more classic Shaggy reviews like videos, just let me know. Also, let me know any ideas you have for future videos. I really appreciate the feedback and support. Anyways, I think overall, this list is okay. I don't think it's that great in that it's well thought out, although the creator does make a few legitimate points here and there, but it was fun, having fun with it. I don't think it's a particularly bad list. I think that it has some holes. It's not perfect, but that goes without saying for most things. I do appreciate that he doesn't just bash Scooby-Doo. He is trying to critique it, but I think his metric sort of got in the way of any good analysis. Anyways, thanks for tuning in and watching. I will see you all next time.